Hello, and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. There were no major shocks in the verdict between the library and the security department. Unfortunately, the judge is a bonehead and will simply approve everything the SEC has asked for. And just avoid dealing with any tough decisions. I'm holding out hope for a better outcome. We'll discuss why I say this about the Ripple situation with a loser draw later on. But first, the library is firmly forbidden from ever again breaking the terms of Section 5. You're not allowed to break the law again because you've already gotten in trouble for it in the past. In a way, it makes perfect sense. Mark Fagles explained the procedural rationale behind the court's actions. He also discussed the length of time it took to get this verdict. I have no idea why it took so long or how the system got to this point. Everyone associated with the library, including its agents, executives, workers, and attorneys, is prohibited from selling the token. It should come as no surprise that the judge imposed the maximum civil penalty of $111,000. Also, I guess he's like, this is repeated when you read through the explanation. It has a bad intent. To put it mildly, that's absurd. It's not a huge sum of money. However, the tone of the justification is highly offensive. Legal uncertainty. The SEC has struggled internally with similar problems, you know. The Hedman docs and all the rest have been observed by us. Seriously, I don't think the library should have been punished at all. But what could you do? They weren't exactly flush with cash to mount a vigorous defense. They drew an ancient judge who was probably just waiting to drift off into retirement, which is a disappointing outcome but not unexpected because we know how the system works. It's the secondary market, though, that really gets under my skin. Mark Fagles forewarned us that the judges are under no obligation to make a decision. However, only recently did the SEC cite the library case as evidence that tokens are in fact securities. In that case, I'll pretend I never said it. You assert that I made that statement. I need to go make a decision on this. Of course, not this judge. He merely responded, I'm not gonna rule on that issue, as if that were the end of the conversation. Not relevant to the case at all. Even if the SEC didn't go after coin holders and users and all that, I don't think the two problems are truly distinct. You know, if you're selling a stock or bond, like it doesn't matter, you sold a security, it's a security violation, so let's start it off like remedial security law, step 1, and move on to more complex things if someone is charged with selling a security. Of course, this judge wants to do the least amount of work possible, so he or she will just ignore the issue altogether. Therefore, there aren't many solutions to offer. The second most frustrating aspect of this whole ordeal is that neither the SEC nor the judge has provided any convincing explanation for why they consider this to be a security offering. Simply, they state that its purchasers are making an investment. The fact that property, gold, and Bitcoin, among other assets, are not securities is not sufficient justification for calling blockchain an enterprise. And I do believe you could argue that point. Gary Gensler's explanation of centralized parties is a good example. Please clarify your thinking in terms that may be applied to blockchain technology. The judge hearing the Ripple case, I pray, will look into this. This isn't something you can just stamp and go. Justify your stance, man. Because if you do that, the tokens you sell to investors will be considered a security. Do you know why? So, how does the secondary market work? Please elaborate on the legal justification for token sales. Exactly what this place requires. Bitcoin is merely a piece of software, yet some people are buying it as an investment. It has been determined that Bitcoin is not a security. I'll have to wait to hear from the lawyers, but how about you explain the one intriguing aspect of this case that has the potential to be a game changer? The SEC was the first to draw my attention to this. The library subsidiary Odyssey was also denied a permanent restraining order and injunction against further violations of Section 5. The judge agrees that it is a subsidiary, but rules that it is not a library. I'm not going to give in to that. The judge has indicated that this ruling may not be applicable because majority of Ripple's business is conducted through XRP to LLC, a wholly owned subsidiary. Could this develop into a major problem later on? Possibly. I'm not sure what to make of that, either. Interesting, albeit I have no idea of the legal justification behind what that entails. This judge is obviously terrible. That's fine with me. When the loser draw is long, as in the Ripple instance, the rationale behind this is made clear. If the judge decides to comment on the secondary market, I hope she discusses it. She needn't, and perhaps shouldn't. However, she now appears more open to having John join the investigation and interacting with the secondary market in order to better grasp the relationship there. At the very least, I believe we had a chance. Now, the Ripple CTO is being quoted in an article titled "David Schwartz Predicts Summary Judgment in September" when he never made such a claim. According to his assessment, we have little to worry about until September 30th. This is quite close to what John Deaton suggested. If the verdict is not released by then, the judge will have to explain to Congress why the process has taken so long, something that has never happened in her entire career. This is quite unlikely to occur. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen before then, and who knows, we might even sail right on through that date. She would also have to defend her justifications. The length of time this has taken. Once again, it's likely to be finished before then. Finally, if you've been in the crypto community for any length of time, you'll be familiar with two topics that always seem to come up. For example, there is a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt, FUD, about Tether, and I have little doubt that they will eventually fail. Perhaps when it expands, a large enough entity absorbs it to ensure compliance and the like. Mt. Gox coins, however, will always be the secondary thing you see, as they will eventually leak out onto the market. Indeed, they inevitably will. And it appears that our time is drawing near. It's possible that 142,000 bitcoins will be created, and 4.3 billion will be doled out in total. How would that affect prices in the market? First and foremost, I expect widespread panic and consequent downward pressure when it occurs. How much of that do big guys take in? There may be a temporary increase in demand for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies as companies like BlackRock and Fidelity get ready to launch Bitcoin exchange-traded funds (ETFs). Consider this: when people obtain a lot of cryptocurrency, they usually sell it. Elon Musk gets $200 billion, and just like that, it's gone. 40 billion tweets, to be exact. And then, as often occurs when assets of this nature circulate internationally, he made it all back. It's not the end of the world, but you should be prepared for some disruption as a result of the release of those packages. However, this will have no lasting effect. That's how you have to see it, too. If the cryptocurrency market experiences substantial upheaval, large-scale selling, or favorable prices, consider it a gift from the crypto universe and capitalize on it. And other than that, it's really no huge deal. I just hope they wrap this up before the end of the year so we can lay the stage for significant growth in 2020. It would be nice to have some legal clarification and Bitcoin ETFs. I believe we can prepare for a successful 2020 season in 2025. That is what I intend to shoot at, so I have my scope trained on it. Things might start happening sooner. It's possible that will occur later, but for now, that's my focus. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you, as usual, for your likes and subscriptions. See you later, bye.